All right, welcome in Mitten Sports Talk right here on Sports Radio Detroit, brought to you by Advanced Auto Center. As Jeremy Stover with you today, riding solo as Roger and Lance both off for the week. Lance will actually be back in a couple weeks, and I am slightly befuddled a little bit because for some reason the second computer won't work. And so, we apparently will not have YouTube for the day, and that will cause some problems. But we will just adjust and roll on. I have no idea why it's not working, and this is a little disheartening. But anyways, well, there it goes. Of course, it works. When the video I wanted to play to start the show, well, this video doesn't have sound. That's cool. Okay. So
Here's another day to take care of the lawn.
Okay, yeah, we're not going to play that either.
Casey Mize has been a great pitcher for most of his life. He will never forget tonight, making his Double-A debut.
Whatever, I don't want to hear Brad Galley. So what I wanted to start off the show today is this show is already off to a very, very bumpy start. The starting video clip today was going to be Casey Mize throwing his no-hitter, which the call for that by the away team, the Altoona Curve, was very, very interesting because the play-by-play guy for the Altoona Curve just failed to show really any type of excitement, any type of emotion for the final out, which was, just kind of a routine pop-up. And I understand it's not your team, it's the away team. This is Double-A baseball, so the broadcasting crew is probably not exactly cream of the crop stuff, but it's a no-hitter. And on top of that, it's a no-hitter by the number one pick in the draft last year. Casey Mize is a very, very high prospect. Everybody knows who Casey Mize is, at least in the baseball world. Dude, you got to show a little bit of emotion. I mean, I really wish I could find it and play it. For some reason, the clip from Minor League Baseball's website isn't playing. This has just been a very rough first few minutes of the show here, to say the least. But I mean, the dude's just so nonchalant about it, And if you listen to Nice of One this week, you probably heard it on the afternoon drive show. But I mean, the guy's just like the 1-2 pop up center field caught. I mean, it's almost like Monty from Major League. Fly ball caught. So it was just like, dude, come on, a little more excitement. Let's go. You will not be called up as a broadcaster sounding like that. I can guarantee you that. But we do actually have some pretty exclusive audio. This is hard to get. This is the entire, and I do mean entire, Detroit Tigers fan base after Casey Mize threw that no-hitter.
Start down. Opening.
And I do mean entire fan base. I mean, the reaction that got on Twitter was phenomenal. Everybody was just extremely excited. And, in a way they should be. I don't want to mock that because as a Tigers fan right now, you really don't have a lot to be excited about. And the guys on the road show were kind of talking about that specifically. They're talking about Miguel Cabrera and just your nervousness, if anything else, about his lack of production to start the season here. So to see Casey Mize, and that was his very first Double-A start, he killed it in Lakeland, and then he goes up to Double-A, which again, Double-A is not Double-A. If you ask Roger will tell you that Double-A is usually where your better prospects are at. But still, Double A is not the best baseball talent out there. But to still see him, go out and throw a no-hitter in his first game, that's pretty exciting. So very, very good on that front. You know what? And I did kind of want to talk about this because they, like I said, Mike, Ben, and Rayvon, they were talking about Miguel Cabrera, and you just got to be down. He's not doing the best this year, but I would kind of argue against that. And listen, contract aside, because he's never going to live up to the rest of this contract. We all know that. And this is coming from me, a guy who really values your contract, because to me, your contract shows what you're worth. And when you're making $30 million and you're not hitting like it, that's not good. But we have to take into account and be realistic as fans. He's 35. He's had injury problems. Yes, he makes $30 million. We all know he's not going to hit like $30 million. We all know he's not going to live up to that. It sucks he gets paid that. But we all know he ain't going to live up to that. So I kind of give Cabrera a bit of a pass on this one. Hey, it's not your fault team pays you $30 million. So, but, Ben was kind of making the argument that Cabrera, just isn't performing well, isn't living up to the contract. And like I said, contract aside, he's not going to live up to that. He's actually not hitting that bad. I mean, he's hitting 295. He's got 12 RBIs. Yes, you'd like that to be higher. Look at the team around him. The team sucks. So, if you're not going to hit a bunch of homers, you need guys on base to get RBIs. He's got 12 RBIs. He's one behind Christian Stewart. I guess that's a little sad because he's almost, played double the games. But, Christian Stewart's on the IL. So in the active lineup right now, he's first in the team in RBIs. The blemish is the one homer. A lot of people are going to look at that and be like, well, but that's the problem. He's only got one homer. Yes, I hear you on that. He's got one homer in 29 games. He could have like 6 more. I mean, he's had at least 3, 4, or 5 just bombs that were like 5 feet short of the wall. So you try to cut him a little bit of slack. Again, he's been hurt a lot the last couple of years. He's 35 years old. We know the power's not going to be there anymore. I mean, if this dude can hit 20, 25 homers the rest of his career, you'll take it. If Miguel Cabrera can go out on a year in and year out basis and give you 22 homers, 85 RBIs, and hit 300, you'll take it. Now, some people bitch about it. Some people bitch that pizza's not good. That's their problem. But you got to take that. You really do. So I'm not that worried about Miguel Cabrera and his production. I don't think fans should be. He's not going to live up to the contract. You just have to get over that. You have to get past that. But, he's going to be what he's going to be from here on out. He's going to be a good average hitter. Hopefully he gets to 20 homers. And, like I said, RBIs aren't just you. They're the team around you. So if he doesn't have the most RBIs, it could be because the team blows, which it does. So, I mean, even Nick Castellanos, you'd kind of like to see him pick it up a little bit. I mean, he's hitting 271. That's not terrible, but you'd definitely like to see him hit a little bit better. So, but it's the Tigers. It's early May. Nobody really cares. The team's not that good. So, just not a lot of people care. So, but we'll move on from the Tigers because, like I said, I don't think a lot of you out there care. We do have quite a bit to talk about. It's interesting because Roger texted me last night and said he probably wasn't going to be here today. And then Lance texted me about an hour prior to the show and said he wasn't going to be there today. And it's always interesting when I'm by myself because obviously 9 times out of 10, I don't know I'm going to be by myself until pretty much the day of the show. And I really got to alter the show sheet when I'm by myself. A lot of the stuff we talk about, especially the non-sports topics we talk about, it requires a few of us being here, to kind of get the rhythm going and whatnot. And, So I definitely had to make some adjustments to the show sheet. Some will probably happen on the fly. There's a lot of stuff that was originally on the show sheet that we probably won't talk about, but that's okay. One thing we are going to do, because it is May the 4th, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago when our show was on for 420, we've had a great run of having shows on days of the more important holidays. Like I said a couple weeks ago, last year we were on we had a show on June 9th, so 6/9, so we made fun of that. A couple weeks ago we were on the air for 420. So that's, that was cool, but and now we're on for May 4th. May the 4th, the great, the Star Wars, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to do a comparison for Star Wars characters to Detroit athletes. And I want to give credit where credit's due, because I have not watched any Star Wars movies, and I don't believe Lance is a big Star Wars fan either. So I entrusted Roger with coming up with Star Wars characters that we can use as comparisons, and he did a great job. So we are going to compare Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Kylo Ren, and Darth Vader. So if you have a comparison for any of those Star Wars characters, you can find me on Facebook and comment on it. You can tweet at the show at Mitten Sports Talk SRD. And we'll go through it together, because now that both Roger and Lance are not here, I've never watched Star Wars before, so I have no idea who these people are. So I have nobody here to sort of ask, oh, hey, is this correct? I have no idea. So we'll go through it, and we'll struggle through that together. We'll talk about Ken Holland a little bit. I thought there was an absolutely great article on Yahoo Sports yesterday. And I don't say that very often about hockey, because usually in the past, Yahoo Sports, in my opinion, did an awful job when it came to their hockey coverage. I thought they just trashed hockey at any point they could, which I don't think you should do, being a news organization that is supposed to kind of be in the middle, And it wouldn't trash it for legitimate reasons. It would trash it just like make fun of people, which I don't think is a smart thing to do. But anyways, they did a great article on Ken Holland and him being a smart move for the Edmonton Oilers, who are looking to sign him. So we'll get into that a little bit. The Professional Women's Hockey League in America, the players are boycotting. We'll get into that a little bit. So where I want to start the show today is something we didn't get to last week, and it is a Bachelorette party guest who was being shamed for having some really outrageous demands. So a woman who asked the bride for an invitation to her Las Vegas Bachelorette party. There's strike one. You asked to go to it. A Bachelorette party is not something you invite yourself. That's not. So that's strike one. And then emailed the group a list of rules to follow, is getting shamed online for her demands. A Twitter user posted screenshots of the email online after it was removed from Reddit, where it had first appeared. The post explained that the guest, who was referred to by the pseudonym Taylor, wasn't invited to the wedding in the first place, but after she contacted the bride, who was called Emma in the post, she was added to the list of guests. Then when Taylor found out about the Las Vegas Bachelorette party, she demanded an invitation as well. We ultimately decided, what the hell, what's the worst that could happen, the person behind the post wrote. The next thing the group know, Taylor sent all Bachelorette party attendees an email that outlined the 6 main rules they must not break on the trip. So we are, without a doubt, going to go through all 6 of these together. Okay, so before we go through the 6 rules, let's recap this for a second. A woman found out that someone she knew, I don't know how close of friends they are, but found out that her friend was having a bachelorette party in Las Vegas, right? A very common place to go for your bachelor or bachelorette parties. And she decided she was going to reach out to the bride and contact herself, okay? So right off the bat, we're not looking too good. And then she lists off these 6 rules for the party. A guest who invited herself sent out the bachelorette party 6 rules that everybody must follow. Rule number 1. Sunday the 12th, I have found an appropriate church and contacted the pastor there explaining that we're from out of town, but we'd still like to attend services. Sunday at 7:15 a.m. We'll be Ubering to the church. I can't wait to share God with all of you. I think it'll be a nice way to cleanse us of our sins from that week. No. People in Vegas don't even go to sleep until 7:15 in the morning. The hell makes you think you're going to want to get up and go to church? You're there for a bachelorette party. I don't think I've ever heard anybody who's gone to Vegas come back and say, man, I'll tell you what, that Presbyterian church, top notch. No, that's stupid. Number 2, in the hotel room, no hard liquor. I don't want people getting inebriated and falling from the balcony. I don't know why. It's always funny when people say inebriated. Also, as this is my first time being, quote, of age and in an environment with prevalent drinking, I don't want to be tempted by these foul drinks. I'm not sure how I'll react to rum or tequila or vodka. For some reason, she put those in quotes. Those are real things. You don't have to put those in quotes. And I'd like to test these in more controlled environments. Please stick to light beers and red wines. 3, there will be no sex taking place in our hotel rooms / anywhere in the suite. As none of us have committed ourselves to husbands yet, there's no need to have premarital sex. Oh, it's 2019. I can't believe we're still on that. Number 4, please don't invite random men back to the suite. I don't see a need for them to be there or know where we are staying. I don't want to be robbed! Explanation point. Number 5. And this is where it gets interesting. Not that the first 4 weren't interesting. Number 5, please Venmo me $50 each as I will be buying groceries for the hotel room. The last thing we need is to be famished in that desert heat. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there for a second. Number 5 is like the one of the 6 where I kind of agree with that. She's volunteering to go get groceries for everybody else. First of all, it's Vegas. You're probably not buying very many groceries. I would assume you're going to eat out 99% of the time. But the fact that she's willing to do that, okay, every group kind of needs this person. Not this person, but a person who will step up and handle one of the responsibilities nobody wants to do. So we'll let her off the hook for number 5. But finally, number 6. Absolutely under no circumstances, no drugs. Half of you currently work in positions that require you to have security clearances, and I do not want you to be tempted by these substances. Drugs bring nothing but problems. A name is redacted from this because it says, so-and-so, please leave your Adderall at home. I understand you have a medical condition, but as we will not be studying, there's no need for you to take your methamphetamines. I think that is all for now, but I am sure more will come up as the time draws closer. Can't wait to see you all there. Respectfully and with courteous passion, whoever it was. I'm at a loss for words because I will tell you this right now. If I was another member of the party, not, the bachelor, just, obviously we'll put this in bachelor terms. If I was just another member of the bachelor party, I would not hang out with this person. Even if the groom-to-be himself said, guys, come on, like, she's a friend, like, let's just take her with her. I'd straight up tell the dude, I'm not hanging out with her. And if that means I'm not hanging out with you, then I'm not hanging out with you. And I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to be a dick. It's your bachelor party, but I'm not hanging out with that. I'm not surrounding myself with that type of person in Vegas. We are here to have a good time. No hard liquor? Are you serious? Only light beers? Like, what are you, my nutritionist? No. Like, absolutely not. We're in Vegas. We're here to have a good time. Going to church at 7:15 in the morning, that's definitely not happening either. You want to go, by all means. Like, more power to you, figuratively and literally. Like, you want to go to church at 7:15 in the morning on a Sunday in Vegas. Like, hey, go, do your thing. Bring us back some breakfast. But to say we are all gonna go, that's your first mistake, because I ain't going. Who the hell wants to go to church when they're in Vegas? I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that do. That's fine. But you're going to tell me I'm going to church. No, that's not happening. Like I said, I might not even be in bed at that time. And the other stuff, the no sex and no inviting men, that's also stupid. Like, you don't tell people how to live their lives. Like, you're in Vegas, you're going to a bachelorette party. This is supposed to be this is supposed to be, I would assume, one of the most fun weekends you'll probably ever have from a pure enjoyment standpoint. You're in Vegas. There's no responsibilities. This is probably going to be one of the most fun weekends for the bachelorette and her guests they've ever had. One of. And you're coming in here pretty much telling people how to live their lives. That's not going to fly. Now, the real question that I kind of don't know the answer to. That's why I wish at least like one other guy was here so we could talk about this. But who do you put on whose responsibility is it to tell this person that they're not invited anymore? Because someone's got to. This person cannot go. Like I said, if the bachelorette, that's a tough word for me. If the bachelorette, gives the rest of the party that, oh, come on, guys, she's a friend. I don't want to rock the boat. Blah, blah. Rock the boat? You don't want to rock the boat? Do you see her list of rules? That's more than rocking the boat. That's damn near driving the boat into a damn iceberg. Like, straight up, she's not coming. And if she's coming, I'm not hanging out with her. Like, we aren't hanging out with her. You two can go hang out if you want. I mean, this is something you're almost willing to lose a friend over. I mean, either way, and if we do hang out, I'm not following any of these damn rules. And I might get a double shot just to piss her off. Like, are you serious? No hard liquor. I have to Venmo you groceries. You're going to tell me that I'm waking up to go to church with you Sunday morning. I mean, and whoever with the Adderall, like, are you serious? We're talking about Adderall. I can't bring my drugs, my Adderall. I shouldn't say drugs like that. We're going to Vegas. Drugs in Vegas can be misconstrued, but I can't bring my Adderall, my prescripted medicine. Hopefully it's prescripted. That's an assumption, but we're hoping. You're telling me I can't bring my Adderall. Which I understand, Adderall and a lot of the things a lot of the other things your body's going to consume that we probably shouldn't be mixed, but that's besides the point. Like, that person can't go to Vegas. I'm sorry. Someone has to tell her, whether it's the bride-to-be, the bridesmaid, doesn't matter. Someone's got to look at that person and say, Taylor, you're not coming. And if you do come, no one's going to hang out with you. So it'll be you, and you better hope the bride-to-be just can't lose you as a friend, because you two will be the only people hanging out with each other. And if you just want to hang out with us that bad, we're going to break. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say at least 4 of the rules. At least 4. I mean, drugs, sex, hard liquor, random men. You're definitely not going to pay her for the groceries just to be a dick to her. Definitely ain't going to church. That's for damn certain. I would say on average, a bachelorette party, yeah, you're probably breaking at least 4 of these rules. The church, the hard liquor, the groceries, for sure. But I could not believe this when I saw this. I honestly could not believe this. I mean, the fact that you would have the balls enough alone to invite yourself is pretty messed up. But on top of that, you are demanding off 6 rules. 6 stupid-ass rules. Like, we're not talking about drinking and driving. Like, you're talking about no hard liquor. Oh, Tiffany, yeah, you can't bring your Adderall. What? Oh, hey, guys, I already talked to a pastor. We're all going to go to church. We? No, you. You are going to go to church. We are not going to go to church. I won't. I might not have gone to sleep at 7:15 in the morning, let alone dragging my drunk ass to church at 7:15 in the morning. So I people, there are some crazy people in this world, and that is certainly one of them. She is a crazy person. That is a prime example of a crazy person. All right, so speaking of crazy people, we'll get this out of the way. So there's this guy who may or may not work with me. I believe he's 25, 26, somewhere in that area, a couple years younger than me. He's having a kid, right? Him and his girlfriend are having a kid, and their baby showers this weekend. And so there was he was talking to another woman who may or may not also work with us. And, they were talking about the weekend, whatnot, blah, blah, blah. And he said that he was going to a baby shower. That's all he said. Didn't say it was his kid's baby shower, just said he was going to a baby shower. And the woman asked him, oh, do men go to baby showers? With like the insinuation that men don't go to baby showers. And his very first response, the first words out of this kid's mouth were not, oh, it's my kid's baby shower. Oh, it's my, it's my girlfriend's baby. No. Those weren't his first words. His very first words were, I mean, it's 2019 now. Come on. No. No. That's not the right answer. That should not be your first response to that.
No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. Hell no. No.
Exactly. That is not the correct response to that question. And then he followed it up with, oh, well, it's my kid's baby shower, blah, blah, blah. And then the best part, arguably the best part about this whole conversation was literally 2 seconds later, he said to the woman, none of my girlfriend's male relatives are coming. Blah, 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 blah. That's because guys don't go to baby showers. You hipster wannabe bitch. Guys don't go to baby showers. It's just what it is. I can't tell you why. It's just what it is. It's just a social norm. Guys don't go to baby showers. Hence why guys started diaper parties. Because somewhere at some point in time, not too long ago, a group of guys were sitting around and thought to themselves that, well, I don't want to go to the baby shower because that's kind of lame. Oh, so why don't we just start our own party where we can drink, watch football, play games outside, do whatever. But guys don't go to baby showers unless it's your kid. Don't use the phrase, well, it's 2019 now. I mean, come on. No. That does not fit for this scenario. That was the wrong thing to say. It doesn't matter if it's 2019, 2017, 2006, 2035. Like, it doesn't matter. Guys don't go to baby showers. It's just what it is. Just like guys don't go to bachelorette parties. It's just what it is. They have their own. We made our own. And the same with the baby shower thing. We made our own. It's called a diaper party. You want your boys to go to a party about your kid? Make a diaper party. Don't sit here and try and be like a 2019 hipster, like, well, it's 2019 now. Come on, guys can go. Yeah, but guys don't go. You just said it yourself. Your girlfriend's male relatives aren't going. It's because it's a baby shower. And guys don't go to those. It's what it is. I mean, my girlfriend's sister-in-law is having a baby shower in a month. Guess how many guys are going? 1. The father-to-be. No other guy's going to that. I'm not going to that. Because guys don't go. I mean, just a stupid-ass thing that to be said. It's 2019 now. I mean, come on. Get the fuck out of here. That's not the right thing to say. That's a stupid-ass thing to say. And then you follow it up by admitting you said something stupid with, none of my girlfriend's relatives or male relatives are going. Exactly. There's a reason for that. It's called because it's a baby shower. Guys don't go to that. Doesn't matter if it's 2019. Guys don't go to that. Dumbass. So, I just... People are crazy. People are stupid. Okay, so... Another interesting thing that happened to me this past week is because it was my birthday a couple weeks ago, and my wonderful Aunt Barb sent me a couple gift cards. One to Kohl's, which is great. I love Kohl's. Kohl's is phenomenal. And the other one was to Amazon. And I actually don't think I've ever gotten an Amazon gift card before, but I first. When I first saw it in the card, it was kind of like, oh, cool, an Amazon gift card. But then, as I started to think about what I would buy with it, it really started to hit me that an Amazon gift card might be the worst card ever. Might be the worst gift card ever. Because you can buy anything. Amazon is everything. You know, it's not like a Kohl's gift card. Kohl's is a clothes store. So you know what you're limited. Amazon has everything. Literally almost everything. I mean, pretty soon you'll be able to buy your house off Amazon. But I mean, I was just sitting there going back. I mean, I still don't know what I want. And I've had the gift card for almost 2 weeks. I mean, I've gone back and forth. Do I want like a movie? Do I want a video game? Do I want like another electronic? Do I want like a house decor item? I mean, I've gone back and forth like 6 times on it. I don't know what I want. And that's why I say with a slight sense of humor, Amazon gift cards might be the worst gift card you can give somebody. Because it's unlimited. There's so many things you can get. You know, and especially, I mean, the gift card itself is $25. And again, that's another bad, for Amazon at least, that's another bad price range because it's like $25 isn't a lot. So it's not, you know, you're looking at like probably something that's like under $50. But $25 isn't like $10 either, you know? So like you can still kind of get yourself something kind of cool, something kind of nice, but there's just so many things you can get. You know, and I'm very, full disclosure, I'm very anal about money. So, you know, even something as stupid as a gift card to Amazon for $25, I'm the type of person to where it's going to take me 6 months to buy something with it because I don't want to just spend it on something and then not really use that thing and think, you know, a week later, like, shit, I could have bought this. And like, you know, like, and I know right now half of you listening are thinking, God, you're a cheap ass. We're talking about $25. But still, I mean, that's how I'm wired. You know, so I love the thought, you know, Aunt Barb, it was a wonderful present. And this is more of a joking thing than anything. I'm mad, but it's just like, God, I don't know what to get. Like I'm lost. So hopefully I will think of something here soon. I mean, I know I know I have ideas, right? Like I have the short list. It's just picking something. And then, there was a conflict going on because I kind of didn't want to tell my girlfriend, but I knew I didn't have to, but I did anyways, and of course some of you out there are probably thinking, well, Jeremy, why wouldn't you want to tell her? It's because then I know she, because she's been talking about getting new bed sheets forever, and there's bed sheets for like $20, $25. Of course, the perfect price that would use all the card, and I kind of do want to get them, but I kind of don't, because like it's bed sheets. It's not cool. I want to get like a new video game, or I want to get like a new sporting equipment or something, so I don't know. Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll keep you guys updated on that. Okay, so as we continue to truck our lawn, make our way around the track here, there's an article on 971 the other day about Matthew Boyd and what the Tigers are reportedly seeking in a potential Boyd trade. They want a premium young hitter, which makes a ton of sense because they don't have one in their farm system. I mean, yes, Isaac Paredes, is showing a lot of potential down in the farm system, but most of their top prospects are pitchers: Casey Mize, Matt Manning, Franklin Perez, Bo Burrows, Kyle Funkhauser. The list goes on. When you think of positional prospects the Tigers have that you actually can look at and even have some glimpse of hope that they will make Detroit somewhere down the line, it's like Isaac Paredes, Daz Cameron, and Jake Rogers. And that's it. There's a couple others that have some hope, but those are the three guys. Isaac Paredes, who's an infielder, Jake Rogers, who's a catcher, and Daz Cameron, who's an outfielder, probably a center fielder. But outside of that, you don't really have anybody. And Miguel Cabrera's not getting any younger. We talked about that earlier. Castellanos won't be here much longer. You don't really have anybody. And there's nobody on the team right now that you look at and think, boy, I'm glad we got that guy. I mean, Jeimer Candelario, solid player. He's probably not going to be a perennial all-star. He might not even be an all-star caliber player. But solid player. I mean, he could probably play third for 10 more years, and you wouldn't bitch about it. But the Tigers need young hitters. They really do. They need positional players that can come up in a year or two and really contribute and be good players. So I think this is I know this is the right approach. They, whatever they decide to do with Matthew Boyd, trade him. That's what you need to decide to do. You need to trade him. Matthew Boyd is not a young guy, a younger player. I mean, he's 28 years old. You're starting to hit the prime of your career. He could have 2 good years left. You don't know. You really don't know. So I really think they need to trade this guy. He's having another good year. He's been lucky with health so far, which is another reason to trade him, because he'll probably have Tommy John by the end of this year with the way Tigers' luck with the injury and their pitchers has been, Michael Fulmer. So they need to trade this guy. Plus, he's a lefty. Lefties are a little bit of a premium. They are. So they need to trade Matthew Boyd this year. That should not even be debated. They need to trade him. And yes, you need to get some young hitters. You need to get some positional players. The Tigers have done a fairly good job of drafting young pitchers. Like I said, Mize, Manning. I believe Bo Burrows was a draft pick as well. But they need to get positional players in here quickly. I mean, Casey Mize, number 1 pick. I get that, but Casey Mize looks like he could be here, next weekend and contribute. So they need to get some positional players and get that ramped up, because, like I said, Candelario doesn't look like he's going to turn out to be great. He might be solid, but Jacoby Jones. What's Jacoby Jones going to be? I mean, Jacoby Jones, again, he's not really that young. He's 26, 27. That's not young. That's not old, but that's not young. That's not 22, 23, 24. We used to joke about Stephen Moy on this radio show all the time. Stephen Moy was, damn near 30 years old, and people still calling him prospect. No, like, you're almost 30. And that's Jacoby Jones. I believe he's 27. Like, we're starting to get to the point. We know what you are. Hell of a good outfielder. You just suck at the plate. And unless you have a bunch of really good hitters around a guy like Jacoby Jones, you aren't going to accept that. If you got a left fielder and a right fielder that are good at the plate but average defenders, you'll take Jacoby Jones in center. But if Christian Stewart can't hack it and whoever you replace Nicholas Castellanos with isn't very good, that's not going to cut it. So, we'll see. Guys like Ronnie Rodriguez, you're not really counting on. The Reyes dude from last year, you're not really counting on for the future. You need guys that you're gonna look at in a year or two and be like, okay, this guy will be up here soon, and he looks pretty damn good. You don't really have that when it comes to position players. And the guys on the team now, your Jacoby Jones, your Candelario, I mean, they could be okay, but you need better than that. You need better than okay. You need good players. And, they just don't really have that right now. So, yes, Matthew Boyd absolutely 1,000% needs to be traded. It's just for what? And obviously, hopefully Matthew Boyd continues to perform well. He had a really good year last year, and he's looking good this year. And you just got to keep it up. Okay, so a story that came out this week was that the NWHL, the Women's Professional Hockey League, the only one here in North America, is in a bit of trouble. And they're in trouble because all their players have decided to not play anymore. The hockey players are going to boycott the league until they get compensated what they deem as fair, as right. A statement that was kind of made, created to represent the women's cause said this week, we cannot make a sustainable living playing in the current state of the professional game. Having no health insurance and making as low as $2,000 a season means players can't adequately train and prepare to play at the highest level. So, we know what this is about. They want to get paid a little more. They want better benefits and whatnot. And hey, I mean, that's a good fight to fight. That is a very good fight to fight. There's no argument on that. The NHL donates $100K to the NWHL every year, but the NWHL wants the NHL to do more. They want the NHL to sort of take over the league and sort of be like the parent to the league, kind of like the NBA, the WNBA, and I believe soccer is the same way as well. The MLS and the NWSL. That's what the NWHL and the women want. They want the NHL to step in and sort of take over. Excuse me. And the NHL, I don't think the NHL wants to do that. I think deep down the NHL really doesn't want to do that. In the article, it states NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman has gone on the record several times to say he didn't want to intervene with either league as long as they both exist in their current stage. The other league is the CWHL, the Canadian Women's Hockey League, which was folded recently. Mainly because the NHL didn't want to look like it was choosing sides or swooping in it as a big brother to save the day, according to league sources. As long as elite women hockey players have professional opportunities, it is not an environment we are prepared to wade into in any formal way, NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly told ESPN when the CWHL folded, leaving only one league. He continued on, we have always supported professional women's hockey, and we plan to continue to do so. That doesn't mean we need to form or directly subsidize an existing professional league. That's what I take that, what I translate that as, we aren't going to do it. We don't want to do it. And I, to me, what the NHL is sort of saying, until we get seriously pressured into doing it, we aren't going to do it. And I don't know if this is going to be considered seriously getting pressured into doing it. You know, now the NWHL, the women who play in that league, a lot of NHLers have come out and said that the NHL should do more, you know, should take over. But I don't know if the NHL is gonna cave on this. I really don't. You know, I don't know. This is a tricky thing. I don't know how sustainable a league like this is. And it's not even so much sustainable. I don't know how much better compensation the women can get. Because, you know, and listen, $2,000 a season is not very high. I completely understand that, and I sympathize with that. I do believe the women should be paid more. You know, this to me, this is very similar to the minor league baseball thing. You know, minor league baseball players aren't paid very well, and I do think they deserve better. But what I never hear about is how much do the teams make? You know, are the teams just raking in just, you know, millions upon millions of dollars, and they're just not sharing it? Because the team and the organization, they can only pay you what they can pay you. You know, like... And this goes for any company and any business. You know, a company's not going to overpay its employees to be in the red. Like, that's not going to happen. You know, the company has to be profitable. So, and it's the same in sports. Like, a team is not going to pay its players, you know, $100,000 each for 20 players when they only have, you know, $1 million to spend on salaries. Like, they're just not going to do it. So I'm really fascinated to see where the story goes. I really do. And again, I do wish the women the best in this. I do. I do believe there should be a professional women's hockey league. I fully do. Because there are people out there that care. I mean, there really are. But I don't think there's a lot of people out there that are interested in this. You know, women's hockey is one of those sports. If we're just being honest with ourselves, not a lot of people care about, and you know, a lot of people don't care about women's hockey unless it's Team USA. Like, it's just as simple as that. And I would even take that a step farther and say I don't think a lot of people care about women's hockey unless it's Team USA versus Canada. I mean, USA and Canada essentially dominate women's hockey. I mean, yes, in recent years, I believe Finland has given both teams a bit of a run for their money, but most years, it's USA or Canada. Like, every single year. So I don't like women's world championships, right? Something a hockey tournament that takes place every single year. There's been 19 of these tournaments. Canada has won 10 gold medals. The U.S. has won 9. No other team has won a gold medal at the Women's World Championships. Only one other country on one occasion, and it was this effing year, has won a silver medal, and that was Finland. They took second in this year's Women's World Hockey Championships. Other than that, 18 of the 19 years, it has been U.S. and Canada for gold, with the loser taking silver. I mean, that just kind of tells you where that sport is at. You have two countries that really matter. And when those two countries get together, I mean, hey, everybody loves it. I mean, it really does. When USA and Canada women's hockey play together, it is a bit of a spectacle. It really is. And people get really behind it. But that's because the country's name is on the jersey. The country's colors are on the jersey. I mean, most people probably can't name you 3 players on Team USA Women's Hockey. But it's USA. Beating Canada of all teams. It's not like we're beating Germany or Sweden. You know, we're beating Canada. You know, the country that essentially invented hockey. You know, it's their sport. So I hear the women on this, but I just don't think the future is going to be very bright for them. And I hate to say that. I do think they'll find a way to up the compensation a little bit, but I don't know if it's exactly going to be where they kind of want it. And I'm not saying these women want to be like NHLers and make millions of dollars. I'm not saying that, but I just don't know how much more help they're going to get. And like I said, just kind of the quotes and the rumblings you hear from Gary Bettman, Bill Daly, and the rest of the NHL brass. I don't think they really want to help them. I don't think they want to get involved from owning it standpoint. They don't mind donating some money. I mean, like I said, they've donated $100K the last few years to the NWHL. I don't think they want to run it. So we'll see. Like I said, the NHL might get peer pressured enough to where they do it. They might end up wanting to do it. I don't know. All right. So we'll just kind of stick with hockey for a minute, and then we'll get to the Star Wars thing, and then we'll probably just get the hell out of here. So the Edmonton Oilers are reportedly just going after Ken Holland and giving him pretty much the keys to the city. Their ownership group has not done a very good job with the franchise the last decade or so. So I think their ownership has been a little more hands-on-ish, and they are willing to give Ken Holland the keys to the car. This is yours. Do what you want with it. Make all the personnel decisions you want. You'll have full autonomy on hockey ops. It's your ship. Take it where you want. And that's very enticing. When you have an owner that is willing to look at you and say, hey, we have this much trust in you. We are willing to take a step back, sit down, and let you do what you want. That's pretty enticing. The Oilers are a team, because I know a lot of you out there aren't big hockey fans. The Oilers are a team that have not been very good for a while. And they had a run where they had a lot of high draft picks. Some panned out, some didn't. Some that did got traded. Jordan Eberle's not on the team anymore. Taylor Hall's not on the team anymore. They still have, they have the best player in the world in Connor McDavid, who just signed a monster contract, so he's locked up for like 10 more years. They have another good forward, Leon Draisaitl, who's really good. But outside of that, they really don't have a lot of talent on that roster. Like, that roster kind of needs a complete overhaul. And I just don't know if Ken Holland's the guy for that. I really don't. And you know what? He might be. Because I don't, and I said this a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Yzerman. I don't know if Ken Holland's biggest problem is sort of building a team. I think Ken Holland's bigger problem is maintaining a high level of talent. Because I think, because I think he gets too loyal, and I think he overvalues players. And that's the thing about the salary cap, and that's why one of the biggest things I've been saying about Ken Holland is I think the whole salary cap thing just fucked with him. I really do. I really truly think he has not adjusted to the salary cap yet. I don't think he really knows how to. And if you learned from his mistakes and goes to Edmonton and does well, more that's great. But I don't know. Like I said, Yahoo did a really nice article. I'll just read you a couple paragraphs from it. And this is where it kind of, the article starts off talking about all the great things that, Holland did. He's part of 4 cups and, team, made the postseason, blah, 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 blah. We all know. We're from Detroit. But where it gets to the bad stuff, it says, for one, the Red Wings haven't been nearly as successful at the draft. Sure, making the playoffs, for so many seasons in a row, prevented them from securing can't-miss talent from the top of the draft, and high selections were often dealt to supplement elite teams they had intact. But the jewels found readily in later rounds in previous Holland drafts had dried up. But his more damning deficiencies over the last decade have come with asset management and salary cap dynamics. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Slow to react to changes with the way successful teams and players divvy up salary, Holland continued to misvalue both players the Red Wings developed and remained loyal toward, as well as those the franchise coveted on the open market. From Darren Hellman, Justin Abdelkader, to Franz Nielsen, Danny DeKeyser, and Stephen Weiss. There's a great contract. There's a litany of players on the Wings' current roster, as well as those that have cycled through, who failed miserably to meet the value determined by the salary they were receiving, draining the franchise as it headed on its inevitable downward trend. There's also an uninspired trade history on Holland's resume in the post-lockout era. Instances with which Holland improved his team over the last decade, to put it lightly, are few and far between. Exactly. Those last 3 paragraphs are, to me, on effing point. And that is why, as a owner of another team, I just don't think I could pull the trigger on Ken Holland. Ken Holland has done some very, very, very great things during his tenure with the Red Wings. That cannot be argued. But since the salary cap, he has not done well. And this Yahoo article, and I will give credit to where credit is due, Justin Cuthbert, he articulates it perfectly. Asset management, salary cap dynamics, yes. Yes, especially in hockey, a game where you cannot just have 3 or 4 superstars and the rest of your guys be G leaguers. You need to be a real good hockey team. You need at least 3 forward lines that are good. That doesn't mean you need 3 forward lines of Sidney Crosby's. That means you need 3 lines that can play well and hold their own against other top teams. I mean, one of the reasons the Red Wings were so successful in the late 90s and early 2000s, their 3rd and 4th line were better than yours. They were better than every other team's 3rd and 4th line. Draper, Maltby, McCarty together. They were better than another team's Draper, Maltby, and McCarty. No team has 3 lines of Crosby and Ovechkin and McDavid. No team has 3 lines of that. But when it comes down to it, a lot of the times in playoffs and stuff like that, it's not about your top guys being better than the other team's top guys. It's about your 3rd and 4th liners being better than the other teams. And that's what the Red Wings had. The Red Wings had a 3rd and 4th line that was better than everybody else's. I mean, I believe in the 0-2 Cup, the Red Wings' 4th line was like Brett Hall, Pavel Datsyuk, and somebody else. Who knows? Who cares? But it's like you have Brett Hall, one of the greatest goal scorers of all time. Pavel Datsyuk, a very young Pavel Datsyuk, but still. someone who would become one of the best Red Wings in history on a fourth line. I mean, that's what it takes in hockey to have success throughout the season and especially in the playoffs. And that's where I think Holland lacks when it comes to salary cap. He misvalues players, like Justin Cuthbert said. He misvalues players. You know, Justin Abdelkader right now is making like second line, arguably first line money. Justin Abdelkader is without a doubt not a top six forward. Like not even you could make the argument not even close. He is not a second. He's not a second line forward. He's definitely not a first line forward. But he makes that money. You know, Darren Helm makes almost $4 million. He is not worth that. He's just not. You know, Danny DeKeyser makes $5 million a year. I don't know if he's worth that. You know, Jonathan Erickson probably isn't worth what he makes. And when you have half your roster, 60% of your roster is overvalued and being overpaid, that hurts your team. Because now you're paying more money to players who aren't worth it. Now you don't have more money to pay other players to make up for it. You know, and the Red Wings, now you got guys like Larkin, not on his rookie contract anymore. Anthony Mantha is going to need a new contract pretty soon. Andreas Athanasiou is going to need a new contract soon. And Athanasiou has already been doing a little two-step with the Red Wings to try and, you know, ink some more money out of him. I mean, those guys aren't on rookie contracts anymore. So you got to value your players. That's especially in hockey. Basketball, you can go get Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, and it doesn't really matter from there. You will be, you know, if your starting three, if your starting five has Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving in it, you are going to be a playoff team without a doubt, and you will probably be a conference contender. Whether you're in the West or the East, you have those three, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. You're damn good. Doesn't matter. You could have Elmer Fudd and George Jetson rounding out your starting five. You're going to be a pretty good team. You can't do that in hockey. It's different. It's like baseball. Oh, yeah, Mike Trout. How many times has he made the playoffs? Oh, okay. Yeah, what's, you know, when's the last time Mike Trout played in the ALCS? Never. That's the answer. It's been never. Because baseball is like that. Baseball, you can't have 2-3 superstars and be really good. You have to have a team. And it's the same in hockey. Basketball is the oddball in this one. Basketball, you can have like 3 really, really good players and you'll still be successful. The other sports, you can't do that. You got to have a team around it. So, and that's where I don't know if Holland has it. Now, like I said, building a team he might be able to do. He might be able to go to Edmonton, build them up a little bit, turn them into a perennial playoff team, and that would be that. Maybe even he turns them into a Stanley Cup team. I have no idea. But I don't think he would be able to keep a team up there. I mean, in a way, they're not the exact same comparison, so please don't take it that way. In a way, it's like Dave Dombrowski. Dave Dombrowski will get you there. I mean, he'll sign, you know, anybody you want as long as you're willing to pay. He'll trade any prospect. Doesn't matter if he's your top prospect or your 100th prospect. He'll trade him away to make your team good, to make your current roster better. But when those players get older and those players go away, you aren't going to have shit in your farm system because Double D traded it all away for a title. And that's the part that sucks most about the Tigers because you didn't win one. You didn't get it done. And where were the Tigers at when Dombrowski left? And Verlander was leaving, and Scherzer was gone, and Prince Fielder was gone, and David Price was gone. You know, and Ian Kinsler was walking out the door, and Jose Iglesias was about to walk out the door. You were damn near last in farm system. Now the Tigers are starting to make their way back up there. Now they're starting to get into the teens for farm systems. Or, they're around, depending on who's ranking you look at, they're in the teens. But for most of Dave Dombrowski's tenure, the Tigers were damn near dead last in farm system. Now, I'm not saying Ken Holland's like that because he's not going to trade away all your prospects, but he might get you there, but I just don't know if he will maintain that level of success. That's the interesting part. So, and I mean, that's the thing. When we talk about general managers and their greatness, sometimes I give GMs a bit of a pass when it comes to winning a title and not winning a title. Because the GM can only do so much. He can only get the players. Now, sure, if with Dave Dombrowski, because this is, to me, that's why I love this debate. Were the Tigers successful? Was Dave Dombrowski successful with the Tigers? Because first glance, it's like, well, to me at least. And you got two different directions on this. Because to me, first glance, it's like, well, yeah, they made 2 World Series. Especially if you're just looking at it from Dave Dombrowski's standpoint. How would you evaluate Dave Dombrowski? It's like, well, yeah, he made 2 World Series. He got the team to 2 World Series. The fact that they didn't win, I mean, to me, you can't really put that on him. He got them there. He got the right players. Of course, you can make the argument, well, did he get the right players? They didn't win the World Series. Well, that's a fair point. That's a damn near fair point. But, I mean, he got you to 2 World Series. I believe they made a couple other ALCSs. I mean, it just, players didn't get it done. That's how I look at it. So, like Steve Yzerman. Tampa made a cup, made a few finals runs. Is it really Steve Yzerman's fault that Tampa didn't win a Stanley Cup? I mean, obviously he has something to do with it, but is it more him or is it more the players? That's a great debate that you're just going to have different views of it and you're going to have different opinions of it. And those type of debates, you're very rarely going to change someone's mindset on that. Because that's just more of a way of thinking than anything. You can present all the facts you want, but I don't know if you would change my mind on that, about Dave Dombrowski not being the reason the Tigers didn't win a World Series. Because that's just my way of thought. The players are the bigger reason. Hell, I would say Jim Leyland is a bigger reason. And I don't have reasons to back that up, but I'm just saying, I would probably blame Jim Leyland before I blame Dave Dombrowski on that. Okay, let's end this here. So obviously, for all you big Star Wars fans out there, today is May 4th. So May the 4th. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to do some comparisons. Right, with Detroit athletes and Star Wars characters, and so I had Raj give me some Star Wars characters, kind of write up a little bit of a description of them, and let's make some comparisons here. So I will give you what Roger wrote. I will give you what Roger wrote because he kind of intertwined his answer with the description. So, all right, let's start at number 1 with Han Solo. Roger wrote, he is Miguel Cabrera. Rough past, comes through in the clutch and lovable. No matter what he does, Solo has a rough exterior, but deep down inside, he's a teddy bear. Miguel may be standoffish, but once you get to know him, you will be glad he's on your side. Which, at last part, I'll be honest, when I first read that, I kind of thought, but you don't know him. you don't really know him. You're just, I struggled with this one when it came to my own comparison, and I struggled so much that I'm just going to agree with him. I couldn't really think of another Detroit athlete, past or present, by the way. I mean, past or present. Go, if you guys have, like I said, if you guys have comparisons out there, you can find me on Facebook and comment on the post. Go to Twitter, at Mitten Sports Talk SRD, and tweet us your comparison. All right, number 2, Luke Skywalker. Now, Roger said Blake Griffin, he will bring, quote, balance to the force, unquote, a.k.a. bring the Pistons back to relevance. The golden boy from humble beginnings, he recovers from being betrayed by the Clippers. Luke recovers from his aunts and uncle's death, Darth Vader being his dad, and carries the galaxy on his back. To me, this sounds like Dylan Larkin. Dylan Larkin has the Red Wings organization on his back right now, and he carries the weight of bringing a once historically great franchise out of the gutter and taking them back to the promised land. Also, this is without a doubt not a secret. Dylan Larkin has been the captain in waiting for a while, and it's semi-likely he will become the captain this year. And he's going to be the captain for a long, long time. Dylan Larkin is I'm not going to put him on the same level as Steve Yzerman, but Dylan Larkin is going to be like a step behind Steve Yzerman when it comes to, legend of this hockey franchise. Really good player, shows leadership qualities, and he's going to be the captain for a long time. I can promise you that. So for Luke Skywalker, I went with Dylan Larkin. Roger went with Blake Griffin. This is kind of a new one. Kylo Ren. Roger went with Andre Drummond. And Roger said he is a brat, but when he is focused, he is a damn good pilot and a skilled fighter. Drummond is the same when he wants to be. A lot of hype between both, but have slivers of talent. To me, this sounds like Eric Ebron. Shows immaturity by still poking at Lions fans, but showed this year that he's a damn good football player. And that he can, he's not as bad as we all thought he was. He's still, as Roger put it, a bit of a brat. But, in the right situation, when his head's in the game, he's a damn good player. So another guy I kind of thought it was Reggie Jackson, because it seems like Reggie his mind just hasn't been in it the last couple of years. But when he's on, he's on. He's a good player. He's a good point guard, but. It just kind of seems like it has to be the right situation for Reggie. Poe Dameron. I never heard of this one. Roger put Matthew Stafford. Poe, like Matthew, is skilled but reckless with all the talent around him he can't overcome. Like I said, I've never heard of this guy, so this might be a bit of a stretch. This was a long shot for me, but I went with Anthony Mantha. I think he has a lot of skill, but he gets reckless in his own end and with the fighting. Because, hey, I don't mind fighting, and sometimes you kind of need your superstars, your skill guys to show a little grit and fight, but time and a place. Time and a place for that. Anthony got in a fight earlier this year and hurt his hand. He was out for a few games. You can't have that with a guy like Anthony Mantha. So that's why in hockey, your star players don't normally fight because you don't want them to get hurt. So I kind of like like I said, I kind of like the grit and the fight in Mantha, but you got to know when and when not to show it. I think Anthony has a lot of talent around him. Larkin, Anthony Bertuzzi, guys like that. But I don't know if it's enough to really win and win big. And maybe even enough to stay in Detroit. I think Mantha is here for another couple of years, but it doesn't mean he'll be here long term. So especially if he puts up, a couple 30-goal years, which we are all hoping he does, he might not be here much longer. So, we'll have to see. All right. And then finally, the last one. Darth Vader. This one also took me a second to think about, and because I wanted someone who I thought really just brought pain to Detroit sports fans, and not from a stand, like Nelson Cruz. Everybody talks about Nelson Cruz as a Tigers killer. Yes, he's hit a lot of homers against the Tigers, but I feel like he doesn't bring a lot of angst to Tigers fans. So I ponder, same like Claude Lemieux. Claude Lemieux was viewed as a very, very, very menacing person to Detroit Red Wings fans. But, he's one guy. He was known for one dirty play, I will add. But I didn't think that was a proper answer either. So I went with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron is 13-5 against the Lions. 3 of those games. 3 of the 5 games he's lost against the Lions, he got hurt in. And he got hurt early in those games as well. So it's not like he played 3 quarters and then got bumped. No, he usually played like a quarter and left. And then one of the other 2 losses, his running backs fumbled the ball 3 times, and they lost kind of close. So you can make the argument he's 13-2 against the Lions. He has a 37-10 touchdown interception ratio against the Lions and a 109 QB rating. The interesting part about the 37-10 TD to interception ratio Aaron Rodgers has against the Lions is you kind of look at that and you're like, damn, pretty damn good. That's not even the best TD to INT ratio Rodgers has in the division. Aaron Rodgers against the Chicago Bears has a 45-10 TD to interception ratio. 45-10. And against the Minnesota Vikings, who have had a pretty good defense for the last, 4, 5, 6 years, Rodgers has a 41-6 touchdown interception ratio. That's astounding. I mean, Rodgers' win-loss isn't like out of this world against the NFC North. It's pretty damn good. But his numbers, his stats against the NFC North is just incredible. I mean, he just damn near torches the league or the division. So Aaron Rodgers is my Darth Vader. Han Solo, me and Roger both went Miguel Cabrera. Luke Skywalker, Raj went Blake Griffin. I went Dylan Larkin. Kylo Ren, Raj went Andre Drummond. I went with Eric Ebron. And then Poe Dameron. Roger went with Stafford. I went with Anthony Mantha. So Lance did not give us his takes, so he will not did not participate in that one. So, which is all right. All right, so that's going to do it for us. We will be back at the same time, same place next week. It'll be just Roger and myself. So we will see you guys then. Don't forget, you can go to sportsradiodetroit.com, check out all of our great content and latest shows. Pretty much anywhere you go to find a podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Podbean. Just type Sports Radio Detroit or Mitten Sports Talk in the search bar. You'll find your favorite show. And also, I should mention this. Definitely want to say congratulations to my girlfriend Autumn. Graduated nursing school last week. She has her pinning tomorrow. And I will tell you, I will tell you this. I did not know someone who was doing a nursing program before I met her. At least I was close with. That shit blows my mind. I mean, how much work she had to do. I did not have to do like 10% of the amount of work she had to do. So that's, props to her. She really did a good job, and she finished up really strong. Actually getting into the Honor Society for the nursing program. So shout out to her. Congrats to her. And, future's bright for her. That's for sure. So I'm excited and lucky to be a part of that future with her. So, all right, we'll be back next week. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully we'll get some more sun than rain. And we out.